righty. Well, thank you all for joining us. And thank you, Sandy, for being our moderator at our annual goal setting panel. And I would like to hand it off to Hadi Atri, President and CEO of Remax Executive. Hey, Hadi.
Good afternoon. Thanks, Haley. I'm going to be short and sweet. Obviously, this is a great panel. You guys are knocking it out of the ballpark this year. And of course, I get a lot of agents that are constantly complaining about the business and how slow it is. And then I see somebody that is having their best year. And I think it's a lot to do with the attitude and the way you conduct your business. Our business is evolving all the time. 30 some odd years ago, when I started in this business, it was completely different, and I think we have to adjust and change our habits. And I'm going to use one example, and which I hear a lot of agents are not good at. Beside time management is consistency. And I don't care how good or bad you are, you got to be consistent in your marketing and how you do it, whether you do farming, whether you do pop buys or whatever. Some of you guys have taken Brian Buffini's course and learned about the different techniques that he's using. So I'm still believing strongly, especially today, to make phone calls. I feel when I talk to agents, when was the last time you talked to the person or a client that you sold a house 3 years ago? Or have you checked your database, your contact list? And do you know what's happening with the people and I'm talking agents that have been doing this for 10, 15 years that are having issues. So because of that, I think it's very important to listen to this panel and see how, and everybody's doing a different thing, how they're conducting their business. And don't forget, this is the time of the year. Yeah, you start making business for next year. A lot of people, the third quarter, just slow down, whether they've done great or they've done not so great. But I think this is the time. If you haven't already, October is really, the beginning of October is when you start. The fourth quarter is the best time to start your business planning. And we're all here to help you. If you have any issues and if you don't know what to do to start a business plan, let us know. We are all around to help you. So with that being said, I really strongly hope that, I don't know how many people are on this call, but I wish all those people that are complaining about slow business were on this call. And I really appreciate all you guys that are participating and helping us to learn how to be successful. So with that being said, I'm going to let you take over. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Hadi. We appreciate you so much. And you're exactly right. Everything is about mindset. Some of the top producers that I speak with on a regular basis really just are always positive people. It starts with mindset. And then the rest of them are really consistent in their daily rituals, and they're very disciplined. So those are habits and traits of people that are really high producers at Remax offices, really worldwide. So that's something for you guys to think about. They do really work hard. Some of these people that are doing the 2 million and up, they really work hard. They work 12-hour days. We're not, sugarcoating that by any means. And you don't have to work those 12-hour days, but there are creative ways to get business that actually do work. And I think that everyone on this call wants to know what other people are doing to drum up business in a slow market like we have right now. So that's why we're having this panel. A little bit about me. I'll introduce myself really quickly and then move on. I am Sandy McAlpine. I've been with Remax Executive for almost my entire career. And I've been partners with Hadi for almost 10, I believe, in the Lake Norman offices. And I have a team of 17 people in Lake Norman and Charlotte area of North Carolina. However, I just expanded to the Myrtle Beach area to start an expansion team, which I'm super excited about. So I'm going to run both teams in both areas and go back and forth. It's not that far apart, to believe it or not. And I've actually been a broker in charge for South Carolina since 2011. And I've mentored agents in South Carolina for a very long time already. So it just seemed like a really good fit for my team and my business. And I really do want to hit Pinnacle. I've always been a diamond and never been a Pinnacle. So that is a goal of mine. And a funny little thing about me is back when I was a solo agent and I was really young, and I think even Hadi might even remember this funny little thing that people used to call me Lake Norman Barbie. And so, we can always put a positive spin on things. I took that, and my whole team is in this case. We are all our own Barbies. Everyone on my team gets a Barbie, and all of our Barbies look like them. So we just took something that could possibly feel negative and spin it in a positive. So if people want to consider me like Norman Barbie, that's cool with me. At least I am known. So with that being said, I'm going to move on to start the panel with questions that we have put together. And I wanted you guys to know there's a lot of background. Thank you so much to Haley for putting something like this together. Not only do we come up with the questions, but we also let the panelists pick some of the questions they would like to answer to give them some time to get ready for something like this. So they're not caught off guard and they have like a nice, eloquent answer for you that makes sense. So we're going to start, and I hope Jennifer Bullock is on the call and ready. I was going to start with Jennifer.
Yeah. Hey.
Hi.
Hello.
So Jennifer, thank you for coming to this panel and being one of our little guinea pigs. Thank you so much. You are a ball of fiery positivity and energy, and we just love you so much. Jennifer is the owner of Homes for Sale Wilmington, and she works out of our Wilmington office at RE/MAX Executive. She's been Hall of Fame, Pinnacle, a couple years in a row. With, if you guys don't know Pinnacle, that's over 2 million. She doesn't have a big, huge team. She does that with a medium team, I believe. And she just has a passion for the business, and I'm really excited. She does also do videos. If you guys don't follow her on Facebook, you should, because she actually hosts panels like this on Facebook. So go ahead. So I'm going to ask you your first question. Are you ready, or do you have anything to say?
No, I am ready for you.
Okay, awesome.
I'm thankful to be here. Thank you, Sandy.
Yay, awesome. So what have you learned that you didn't expect when you got into the business?
And it's funny, I didn't really prepare for the questions. I just said, throw them at me, and I figured I'd run with it. Kind of thought I'd feed off of other people. So one of the things that I think that I didn't realize, and I always think it's funny when I see a new agent, because if I talk to a new agent that's like, oh, I've had 10 transactions, I know everything about real estate. That was my first, it was always my first warning. But for me, being in it 17 years with over 300 transactions a year, I promise you every single day, I learned something new. And I didn't expect that. I kind of thought, we've got the contract, it's in black and white, what could go wrong? But there are a lot of different variables. And in realizing that you don't know everything, I think is the first place to being a better agent.
So would you say that you are always wanting to learn more, and you enroll in extra classes and masterminds and things like that so that you can stay on top?
Yeah, 100%. That's the reason I started my Monday Live panel, and I've been doing it almost 2 years. It's really grown, but I did it to learn from other agents and to help in whatever way I can.
Awesome. So that is one of the things, the traits that I see quite often with Diamond Pinnacle agents, is that they are constantly putting themselves in a position to learn more things, right? Mm-hmm. So awesome.
Yeah, that is one of the things I love about real estate as well, is that it changes every day. It's one of the things I love and hate, but I think it makes it fun and challenging.
Yes, exactly. All right. So I was going to do this a different style. How we've done in the past is skip around to different speakers. However, what I noticed was that if someone was worried about ready to be called on, like another panelist, they were thinking about their answer and not able to listen to the person who was speaking. So I was going to do all your questions in a row, if you don't mind, and then skip to the next person. So then everyone gets a chance to focus on what you're saying.
No, that's scared.
Awesome. Okay. Where does the majority of your business come from, do you think?
So this year, so it depends on like my team. I do buy leads. We get Zillow, we get realtor.com, we get website leads. We get all the lead sources like everybody else does. I think I roll that out to the team. My personal business all comes from a sphere of influences and referrals. Do that through constantly keeping in touch with my top 50. Actually, it's my top 200. One of the things I do is I get 5 to 10 people together every Wednesday, and we go next door to Wendy's House of Wine. And I usually spend $100 to $200, but I match people by, it could be by their ages. It could be by the age of their kids. It could be the location they moved in. It could be the zip code. If they told me a hobby, I just try to match them by similarities. But what I found is last Thanksgiving, 7 different groups that I had introduced all took pictures that they were all having Thanksgiving together, and they all sent it to me to say, thank you for introducing us.
That is awesome.
We're a designation station. So a lot of people move in here that are retired or a second home. So I really feel like my job is to be a matchmaker, not just with a home, but with a doctor, an attorney, people that live in the neighborhood, whatever, a babysitter, whatever the case may be.
So you would say that you're funneling a lot of the brand new business to your team members,
That's right.
and they're having to put in the hard work to make a new relationship. And then you are fostering current relationships you have by meeting them outside of work and doing lots of client events and happy hours and things like that.
Exactly. You said it very
Awesome.
much more eloquently. Thank you. Yes.
Oh, no. So awesome. So looking back on it, what is the one thing that you would have done sooner in your business if you could have changed something?
As a new agent, I was really insecure of asking my friends for business. I was a person that would pick up a phone book. Hadi was talking about making phone calls. I'm really good on the phone. I would pick up a phone call, pick up a phone book. I mean, 17 years ago, we didn't have all these databases. I would pick up a phone book and just make random calls. And I would do that all day long instead of asking my sphere of influence for business, because it was easier for me to get rejected by somebody I didn't know than somebody I did. Right. But once I got a little bit more confidence and realized that I am a really good agent and that I really could help my friends and family and started asking for the business, everything just took off.
So would you say that you are a very disciplined person and that you sit when you can, you devote a lot of time to calling and making phone calls and keeping up with everyone that you know?
Yes, I am very,
Calls.
very scheduled.
Right.
I'm in the
Discipline.
office every day from 8:30. I mean, I do the same thing every day. I'm very scheduled.
A lot of top producers will tell me, I don't do anything different. I don't have any secret sauce. I just go to work every day and do the same thing. It's really boring.
Consistency. I think Hadi said that also. I think just being consistent, doing those money-making activities and being sure that when you're in the office, you're being productive and not just, I mean, if you're in the hallway talking to all your coworkers, unless you're talking about work and how to develop, but if you're just gossiping, then you're not really, that's not a money-making activity.
Absolutely. You're exactly right.
I still do my handwritten notes, my calls, my handwritten notes.
Oh, awesome. Great. Yeah. A lot of people forgot that farming, like snail mail, is really effective right now because people aren't getting mail as much as
That's
they
right.
were.
Yep. I agree with you. And people love getting a handwritten note.
They do. I got like 40 cards about my poor kitty cat. And I mean, I cried, but I remember every single person that sent me those.
That's right.
It's like really, really awesome. I don't ever get an email. So that was really nice. Well, good. Well, that's really good. Yes. So your clients, so you make your clients feel special and you are at work every day on a consistent schedule. And what, in your opinion, what is the actual key to success in real estate?
I think to ask for business and not being scared to ask for the business.
So just putting yourself out there and not having fear.
Funny. I mean, one of my clients last year, I was literally in Walmart. And one of the guys putting food on the, I don't know what they call them, putting the items on the shelves, I don't know what his position title was. But for whatever reason, we started talking. And then he was like, wait, you're in real estate? He ended up buying a $2 million house. My man worked at Walmart. Nobody had ever talked to him about real estate. He was just doing that because he moved here and didn't know anybody, just for fun money. He had sold his house in Ohio, was renting a house here. And so I always talk the business to everybody and anybody.
I love those kind of stories. That happens to me too. Like I meet people on the tennis court and they ask me for a pin and it's a Remax pin.
Girl, I have your pin. I have your big purple pin. I went on a listing appointment. I think I took a picture and sent it to you. I couldn't find a pin, but you're right. I found out.
I sold $3 million of houses off that pin.
See?
6 months. Yeah. So what do you think most agents should do that they don't?
I think pick up the phone. I think even agents on my team are really hesitant to pick up the phone, but it's important. It's important to call your database. You think you're bothering people, but you don't really know until you pick up the phone and talk to them. But 99.9% of the people that I talk to are very thankful that I called, and they're very thankful that they haven't been forgotten.
Awesome. See, that's a really good one, because I think all new agents on my team as well have the same call reluctance is what we call that. They're like so scared of the unknown. They're so scared of getting rejected. They don't know what to say. But honestly, if you're just be yourself and call around, you never know when someone is going to go through a divorce, a death, an engagement, a life event, and they're going to need your services. So it's kind of like fishing in the pond. You don't know which fish is going to bite, but you have to stick your bait in, right?
And sometimes you think it's weird. Like I had a listing appointment a couple of weeks ago. And I knew that they were going to list with me. I knew what needed to be done and they were working on it. It was an older couple. And the neighbor called me like 4 days ago and said, hey, I just want to let you know he passed away. And I think a lot of agents would have stopped and been like, ooh, what do I do? But I mean, I immediately went to the house. I came with flowers. I sat there. I hugged on her, loved on her. I was like, I am not trying to sell your house. I'm just checking on you. How are you doing? We talked through it. And she did sign the listing paperwork, but she did it yesterday. I really wasn't there to pressure her, but I think a lot of people would have backed away and been like, ooh, I don't know what to do. And in my situation, I just embraced it.
But she needed your help and you were there to help. That's not
That's
not the effect you're going for. You're going to help her. Whether she hired you or not was irrelevant.
That's right.
Yeah. But you have to go in with a good mind, right? A good mindset, a good attitude. And you can't be like, oh, I hope I get this listing. That's horrible.
You know,
So
years ago, so I first started, I've been in real estate 17 years. In my first 8 years, I was at Coldwell Banker, and I definitely had a lot of just crap that happened to me. Just life happened, but it was a lot of major life changes all within 45 days. And it kind of crushed me in every single way. But when I realized to put people in front of me, right? So to how can I help others and not chase money? My whole entire trajectory for real estate for life completely changed. So once I just said, my job is I'm a self-serving. I was a school teacher prior. I'm here to help people. And how can I help you? Even if it's find a rental, even whatever I could do to help you, that's what I'm here for. And I went from $20 in my checking account to being Pinnacle. So it works.
that's amazing. Thank you so much for sharing, Jennifer. That's awesome. And I love those stories. And like, it is true. Don't follow the money. Don't follow the transactions. Follow the people.
Yeah,
follow the people and how can you help someone? That's all you need to worry about. The money will come. The transactions will come.
I agree 100%.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Okay. So you guys follow Jennifer Bullock on Facebook, and she's got her like Monday mindset.
Yeah. 5 o'clock.
And you can watch her videos every week, and you can learn a lot from other RE/MAX agents on there. So super excited.
Yeah. Thank you, Sandy.
All right. So I'm going to bounce over to Jackie Smith. Jackie, are you there?
Hi. Yes, I'm here. I'd unmute myself.
Hey, Jackie.
Hi.
So thank you so much for being on our panel. We really appreciate you. And I heard you were team leader for Charlotte's Finest Properties. I love it. And you won the RE/MAX Torchbearer Award in 2023, and you are a platinum team leader. And how many people do you have on your team?
We have a total of 4 agents and 1 who handles our marketing. So 5 of us on our team. We're a small team.
Awesome. And you've been with RE/MAX how long?
I think I should have been prepared. I think it's been 8 years now. Well,
wow,
maybe
that's awesome.
Actually 7, maybe 7. I don't know for that. Time flies when you're having fun.
And you cover Charlotte, North Carolina, and the surrounding areas?
Yes. And I also do some work up in Banner Elk in the mountains as well.
Oh, that's awesome. That's good to know.
Yeah.
All right. So we'll deep dive into your questions.
Okay.
So one of the questions that we had to put on for you was, take me through your typical day, and like, do you have a ritual for when you're at work?
Yeah. So this one made me laugh, and that's why I chose it as one of my questions. I love hearing, and you actually kind of touched on this earlier too. I love hearing from people. And actually this came up a lot at the Torchbearer conference in Nashville earlier this year. I giggle because I hear people who come like wake up, go into the office every day. And I love that plan and get on the phone and make calls. And I'm trying to be more consistent with that, but every day is a different day. I feel like, especially in the market that we've had the last 2 to 3 years, especially. So I am actually learning from others, and I love these panels, and I'm grateful to even be included on it. Because I'm always learning and trying to have more of a routine and be more consistent as well with it. But I always try to start exercise, not every day, but try to be consistent with that. And then start in the morning with emails and calls, and then meet contractors, and every day in our business is different, including on the weekend. So trying to be more consistent with that. So that's why I put that on here, because I am also trying to learn to have more of a routine as well.
So would you say that you wake up, get your workout out of the way, you feel good, you feel energized from your workout, and then you try to go right to the office and start your prospecting and going through like your emails and getting your stuff done?
So that's where, yes, my goal is to be better with that. That's my 2024 goal. Yes.
All right.
Learning more about that.
Where does the majority of your business actually come from?
We 100% referrals. And I had tried to do some putting it out there on the internet and getting with realtor.com and some other areas, but we have been the most consistent, our team, with just our network and our clients and family and friends, and doing a great job with them. And then 100% referrals.
So what would you say you're doing to actually get in front of those clients on a consistent basis?
So we continually are in front of them. Well, first of all, it's doing an excellent job in providing the best service for them. But then just continual communication. I think Hadi touched on it first, and it's kind of been our ongoing theme of consistency. We are actually doing our first ever huge client appreciation event later this month, November 30th. And it's going to be fun. I've also heard from so many of my colleagues and people we're learning from, getting everybody together, which I at first thought that's crazy to get everyone in the same room, but it's so neat to connect people with the different services they provide as well. So I love hearing that, Jennifer. Thank you for sharing that too. I learned that today, and just even in a smaller crowd, but we're doing it on a big scale. We're doing a big dinner for Chris, like a big holiday party for everybody.
We do a couple of big ones too.
Oh,
Say that again.
I said we do a couple of big ones too. We do a big pie giveaway at Thanksgiving, and we did a dog costume party where all the proceeds went to a local non-kill animal shelter. And yeah, people really love it. I think being consistent is key.
Absolutely. Yeah, we'll do different little appreciation gifts. Some fun ideas are we did Valentine's Day. We did the hair ties for females. We dropped them in the mail. I think someone I got on early did the wine glasses, just different things to constantly be touching our clients. I love the birthday ideas are fun. So many different ways to just stay in front of them. Picking up the phone, huge. I love, even with not just our clients, but other colleagues, to constantly learn from them. I just think always being on the phone, if you can touch 1 to 3 people a day, I have found that super valuable in my business.
Awesome. Great. Well, so what is your biggest marketing win?
Ours is social media. I feel like that's everyone and everywhere. And my biggest thing with that is not trying to be somebody else, but being yourself and putting yourself out there consistently. Again, consistent. I feel like that's been my word and everyone's word of the year, probably. But also just being yourself, being authentic, but being consistent and not falling off for 5 days or however long. But sorry, I'm getting a call. I hope that's not bumping me off. But also just making it fun, making it enjoyable, we're doing a lot more with videos this year, and we've gotten a lot of positivity with that as well. And just staying front and center in front of our clients. We've actually sold houses from Instagram. People have seen it. Recently, probably about 2 or 3 months ago, I had somebody send it a house we had listed, and they sent it to a neighbor of theirs. And it was kind of that domino effect. They came and saw it, and then we ended up selling the house to them, all from social media. So I think that's a huge win. We also are in different magazines, and I think that's a good consistency. So we're being seen out there. But I think social media, it's free, and it's a great way to stay in front of people.
So would you say that you have friended and Instagram friended all of your clients and followed their accounts and made sure that they're seeing your social media, and then your content is somewhat authentic, like maybe you're making some fun social posts about with yourself, and then you're mixing it in with some homes and some tours and things like that, would you say?
Yeah. So we actually, Christy, who handles all of our marketing for our team, she's so fabulous. And we're Charlotte's Finest Properties. Feel free to go on and look at it. So I have a personal account, and I keep that one just personal, and I'm horrible. I actually don't ever really post anything or use it. But we do a combination of our houses. We do videos for our properties. We do fun things that we're doing. Our team, we have a monthly meeting, and we do one of those that's a lunch. And then the 2 weeks later, we do like a business meeting. So we try to show that this is what we are doing for you behind the scenes too. If there's a new restaurant, we try to go there to show the community that we're working in and living in, and trying to keep consistent. So yes, a full combination of everything. So it's not just business and houses and the front of a house or a kitchen in a house, but definitely kind of where we're living and the environment we have, and trying to be fun as well.
So how many posts do you think you make a week?
Oh gosh, I guess
on average,
we've been pretty in a good way. We've been pretty busy, thankfully. On average, I mean, I think we at least try to do one a day. So sometimes we don't want to be too much either, because I think people will get sick of you too, and then they'll unfollow you as well. But I think being I would say at least 1 to 2 a day. And then also adding it to the stories as well is important. And then syncing it to Facebook. We go through Instagram and then go to Facebook.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's great for a lot of agents on here that don't really utilize that in their business at all. So this gives them like a little starting point for them to go ahead and make their account, follow some of their clients, get it going, and then post just something a day, just one thing a day.
One thing a day.
Anything a day.
And while you're going out and about, I mean, it's so simple, but my advice always is if you're out at the farmer's market or doing something, it's easy to snap a picture and say, hey, did you know that there's, this is going to be delayed, but there's pumpkins now at Fresh Market or wherever you are, for the season or whatever it is, just something fun that's relatable to people is my
Awesome. Thank you so much. So in your opinion, what is the key to success in real estate then?
It's so funny. I know that I feel like I'm a repeater, but I wrote down consistency and communication and always giving 1,000%. For me, I've been, that's kind of how I live my life too, as consistent as possible. But I think with our clients, just showing them that values and not faltering from that. It's been interesting. I feel like I've had this conversation with people the last couple of months. It's been an interesting couple months and we've had the E&O training again. Just never dotting all your I's, crossing your T's, and being consistent and showing your clients that you're giving it your all and you're a great communicator no matter what, and that you're available, they can get a hold of you, but you're almost exceeding their expectations or being sure that I guess anticipating their questions and answering it if you can. I know there's things that come up that we can't anticipate, but I think just having it, being able to work together with other agents, just all across the board, communication and consistency.
Awesome. So what do you think sets you apart as an agent from the average agent out there that only sells, I think our MLS Canopy, which is one of the largest MLSs in North Carolina, they, interestingly enough, I think they just bought out some of Georgia and South Carolina. So they're going to be a larger footprint, but there's the average agent, I think in Canopy sells 3 houses or less. So what do you think sets you apart from those people?
I love being authentic. Well, first of all, I think I love being a part of RE/MAX. It's been so amazing. Just yesterday, I sent out an email and was grateful to have so many responses and so fast. So this company to me is a bunch of professionals that I learn from each and every day. And I'm so grateful. I have an amazing team as well. And it's so fun. We laugh together, which I think is so important and just so much fun. So that's a big question too. I just think, again, being consistent, marketing, we do a ton with our marketing and try to promote. So if I'm going to list a house, I sell the house. I'm not going to just put my sign in the yard and a lockbox on it. I want to work so hard for my clients. So I think that my clients see that my work ethic and who I am as a person is why I believe that they choose to work with me. And they also share that with their friends, their family, their colleagues, and why we have the referral business that we do and are very blessed to be able to represent them.
So do you come up to them with your big marketing plan? And when you get the listing, you say, we're going to do this videography. We're going to do all of these brochures. We're going to do these open houses. We're going to promote this all over all of our channels and thousands of people and do all these things. Mm-hmm. And then do you ask them for the business? Like, do you know of anyone else moving and selling? Is that how you're getting more referral business?
So yeah, so oftentimes a client will have already told, kind of say, this is how our experience was. But then yes, going to a listing appointment, I take a folder with all of the examples of things that we do to sell the house and then just share some data of the work that I've done or others on my team that we have done to provide them that same level of service to give them the best experience.
Great. That is awesome. I love learning from other people and how they do their business. And that is so fantastic. It sounds like you get a ton of people from your current sphere and your current database, and you're not having to really run out and buy, leads or do any of that thing. And you're still, even in this slow time, you're still crushing it, still seeing some level of success. So I appreciate you and thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, awesome. All right. So our next panelist, his name is Ryan Roark. He is the broker in charge of our Myrtle Beach, South Carolina office. He is high energy, you guys. He's just started back playing tennis and pickleball, and he's crushing it. He's a team lead. He has a couple agents on his team. And since becoming Vic, he has helped coach his agents to record-breaking production numbers, you guys. He has a small but mighty office, and they are killing it right now in a down market. So he definitely is doing something right, and hopefully he'll be able to answer some of our questions for us today and shed some light on things that are working for him in his business. Ryan, are you there?
Yeah. Hey, thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you so much for doing this. Is there anything you'd like to say about your business and about how long you've been doing real estate, and maybe some things that you've learned along the way that you feel like help you to be successful?
Yeah. So it's funny because Jennifer, Jackie, and I know Hadi mentioned it too. And I told you on the phone the other day when you called and asked me, I'm like, my answers are going to be pretty boring because it's all just about showing up every day. There's nothing special I do differently than anyone else besides showing up every day. A few of the agents in my office, same thing. The top producers in the office, they show up every single day. So they do the day in, day out boring work of prospecting, going after business, and it shows results. So
awesome. So my first question then is, how many hours per week are you actually working, would you say?
So I would say besides like being the broker in charge and those hours, I mean, there's weeks where you'll put in 80, 90 hours a week. Now I always say those are, productive hours versus like scrolling through Facebook, talking to your coworkers, things like that. I would say, 3 to 4 hours of solid prospecting every morning is something very important. That's a lot of us do in our office. We set that time aside. And then you're always working. And I went to a Jared James conference, which he's a big Remax guy. And, he really talked about like a work-life balance and how it's almost impossible to have like a true work-life balance. And it resonated with me because he really hits on, when you're at work, focus on work. And when you're, with your family or at your kid's basketball game, like be present at that time. And I think that's really important in all our lives because we get caught up in something where we're working, at 10 o'clock at night or doing something where we shouldn't, or we'll be at the dinner table and working. And I think, it's easy to say we all work, 80 hours a week or whatever it may be, but it's the busy work and the actual work of, what are you doing during that time? Are you sitting there scrolling Facebook, answering a few emails, or are you actually going after new business and putting in the boring work, I call it, of prospecting?
Well, yeah. And your wife actually happens to be in the real estate industry as well. So I know for you guys, it's harder. It's even harder to escape that conversation when you get home, right?
It is very hard. Yeah. She does mortgages.
Yeah. And so I think, you touched on something I think is really important for everybody to hear. And another Remax agent that was doing 300 transactions a year, she had mentioned the same thing like you. This isn't a business. If you want to be a top producer and make $500,000 plus a year or 250 as a solo agent or whatever, you need to realize you're not going to have any happy, balanced life. Like that's a joke. Like people getting into real estate to think that they can have flexible hours and still crush it, making multiple 6-figure incomes are really not realistic at all. Like, come on, unless you want to scale and leverage yourself and start hiring more people to assist you with the multiple hundreds of transactions. And then you're making less money. Right. So every time you cut up the pie to scale, you're making less money. I mean, these mega teams, even like my team, I don't consider it a large team, but it costs me a lot of money to operate a team. So I think a lot of people need to be aware. There might be some people on this call that actually net more than I do. It's very interesting how we all run our businesses completely different. So I just kind of like to point that out, something that, that you touched on, that people need to be realistic about the hours that we actually put into the business for the money that we're making.
Yeah.
So where does the majority of your business actually come from?
So I would say now it's a lot of referrals. Like everyone was saying, being around the community, my wife and I do a lot of work in the community, and we generally enjoy doing the work with the chamber and so forth. But I would say at this point in my career, a lot of it is referrals from Remax agents or even past clients. And that's something I always say is, if you do a really, really good job with your clients the first time around, they'll end up using you. They'll end up sending their friends to you. And those are not saying the easiest deals, but you didn't have to pay money to, get a referral from a past client or whatever it may be. And we do pay for Zillow leads. A lot of them go to the team members now, though, and things like that. We have paid leads. But majority of my business, I would say 90% this year have been past clients, referrals, and just people in the community who know me.
Awesome. That's great. Yeah. And it's good. I've seen you on lots of things. You just did a Real Producers event. It's great to stay top of mind in front of not only your colleagues in the area, but also lots of your clients see that on your Facebook. They see that you're active, you're a full-time realtor. They see you going to the chamber events. They see pictures of you being involved in your community and in CCAR. So I do think that's really important, like you said, and it just keeps you top of mind because they're like, oh yeah, Ryan, my realtor. Yeah. So it's free, right?
It is, yeah. And it works. It really does.
Yeah. So looking back on it, what is one thing that you would have done sooner in your business had you had the idea to do it?
So this is a pretty easy one for me. Is I would have had a lot better CRM than I was currently using when I first started. I think for the first few years, I used like an Excel spreadsheet for all my clients, and I still have it. And obviously, your Excel spreadsheets don't follow up automatically and things like that. And I know 8 years ago versus now, like the AI systems and things like that has changed. Like you're showing me on KB Core, just what your CRM can do for you as far as follow up with your clients. But I do think I missed a lot of opportunities when I first started with those clients that were 12 months, 24 months out, and they're not top of mind. I mean, I have a whole board next to me of like my buyers who would buy any given second now. And then like my CRM has all my other buyers, the ones that are now 6 to 12 months out and things like that. And I think it would have helped me a lot better, make it easier transition if I would have had continued to put something into a CRM, 3 or 4 years ago versus in the last few years.
So would you say like just keeping all of your contacts, past clients, leads, everything in a more organized database, you would have maybe found some low-hanging fruit or found some deals where you didn't because it wasn't like in a easy way to deal with it. Yeah, and KB Core is awesome for that. RE/MAX has done an amazing job.
Absolutely. No, and it has. And CRMs, they work wonders as long as you use them. And I remember like, for example, like I think it was like 2019 or 2020, I had a client who I helped their daughters find a house, and they said, hey, keep me in mind, we're going to buy in like a year and a half. And, you'd follow up with them here and there, but you didn't really follow with them as good as, if someone was ready to buy right this second. And I remember calling them like a year out, and I was speaking with them like, hey, you guys, you're still looking to buy, yada, yada. And they said, no, Ryan, guess what? We actually ended up buying with someone else. And it hurt me real bad. I was like, man, I missed out on that deal. Like, what could I have done differently? And it was just one of those things. They were so far out at the time. I was like, what could I have done? But if I would have had the CRM I do today, where it's just following up with them, 1 or 2 times a month, they probably would have used me.
Oh man, and I totally feel for you there because that happens to a lot of us. And you're like, what could I have done? Sometimes I ask the client, is there anything I could have done? And sometimes there wasn't, maybe they walked into a new home community or whatever. But to be honest, like, this now, if you follow up with them insane in between that time frame and you had talked to them multiple times, they would have felt really bad not using you, right? You would have had more of a chance. Absolutely. And I think, just you touching on that's a really awesome idea. I remember Jared James said, and also another person at one of the top one, the number one RE/MAX team in the world. She told me the same thing that Jared James said. In follow-up cadence, if someone tells you a year out, then call them in 6 months. So always cut it in half. Whatever they actually tell you, cut it in half. Mm-hmm. So something to like a little tidbit for everybody on the call.
Yeah, no, it's very smart.
Awesome. So yeah, people's lives obviously change, and whatever comes out of their mouth on the initial call sometimes is what's on their mind that day. But then obviously their circumstances change, jobs change, births, deaths, babies born, all that kind of stuff. So, and then their time frame for buying or selling a home changes. Like I had an example, just like you, kind of a Debbie Downer for me. I saw something in my email and I was like, I wonder about that person on, Sandy Road or whatever it was. It's my name. So it just sort of popped into my mind. And I look back and they said back in 2021, they were wanting to sell and they wanted to talk to us about listing their home. Well, we never followed up past that point after the initial meeting, and some other agent listed this house. And now we're making the offer for our buyers on the same freaking house.
That definitely happens.
Yeah. When you do real estate, as long as I have, almost, 19 years and licensed or whatever, this is the start. You start seeing same houses that you've sold and bought with different clients, sell over and over. And it's really interesting. And again, we dropped on the follow-up, 100%. So in your opinion, what is the key to success in real estate then?
I would say consistent. I know everyone keeps saying it, but consistency, showing up every day. I mean, every day you're not going to be motivated, but the days you aren't motivated and you still show up are the days that will set you apart from everyone else, because there's plenty of times when, you want to take off work, you want to go do this, you want to go do that. And that's when your business will definitely go downhill. And I know the last few years, everyone was excited because you're writing multiple offers, your house is selling in 24 hours, but that's, I think, kind of long gone at this point, at least in our area. And, putting in the extra work, showing up every single day, will definitely set you apart. I mean, anyone can be great in this business, which is good. It's, everyone has the same equal opportunity. And I just really think just showing up, putting in the work, it's really hard to fail in this industry if you do those two things.
Oh man, Scott Byerly, I think he's on this call. I think he and I just talked yesterday. We just said that. We just said everyone has the same opportunity. It's what you do with it.
Yeah, it's true. And like working out in the mornings, I used to be a big guy. I'm working out in the afternoons, and it's not feasible anymore. So finding extra time, like working out in the morning, like Jackie said, it helps. I mean, obviously you try to go every day. Does it happen? No, but at least I've changed my schedule to start working out or playing tennis. You see me playing sometimes at 6 a.m. I turn the lights on and play then versus in the afternoon. So
that's awesome. See, like you're super disciplined. You're revising your schedule to fit it in because it's important to you. And that you need to be at the office 3 hours a day prospecting on the phones to make business happen. And you have that fear, just like some of us do, that's driving you. Hey, I don't want to do less. I want to do more. And so that's driving you to be like ritualistic, I would say, right? Like every day.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I think another thing someone mentioned was, being scared on a phone and, not wanting to pick up the phone, or Jennifer mentioned something where she said a lot of people have issues like on the phone. And I think that happens to everyone, whether you're a top agent or a beginning agent. And I do believe a lot of that comes from mastering your craft. I mean, there's only so many objections anyone's ever going to give you, whether it's a listing appointment or a buyer's appointment. I mean, there's only so many objections you can possibly hear. And if you can master those objections, the fear of getting on the phone will go away very easy. And realistically, it's about practicing. I remember when I first started calling or cold calling, prospecting, I was so nervous, but it was because I really didn't know what those objections look like. And when you know what the objections look like, it makes it a lot easier because you're already prepared for them. And it's the same ones over and over again. What's your commission? What should I list my house for? When will it sell? All these are the exact same objections you get at every single appointment. So I guess, the fear of the phone is from mastering your craft and not knowing what to say. And I do believe right now, I know a lot of people are a little bit slower than they'd like to be, but this is a really good time to watch YouTube videos, do whatever it needs to be to master your craft, practice, ask a friend, ask a realtor in your office, hey, can we just role play for 15 minutes a week even? And it will blow your mind what it does for your confidence for one, but two, your nervousness on the phones, because it's a big part of your day-to-day ritual is being on the phones.
Don't you do role playing at your office too?
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we do. We have a couple guys in our office that do some role playing, and we have mastermind groups. We get together every other Wednesday, it used to be, and we'll talk about like, hey, what's the objections you're getting? And the one thing I like is because what might work for me or what might sound good to me might not come off good for someone else. So we'll say, hey, what is your objection right now to everyone listing at 4% versus where you're normally at, and we'll go around the room, everyone will answer it, and you kind of put together what works best for you from what everyone answers and what everyone says.
So you're very similar to the other panelists, as you can see, that you're very interested in learning, doing, educating yourself, always getting better, never knowing it all, constantly improving yourself and setting yourself apart as a better, not just the average agent. So, and your clients can see that you're being authentic. You're coming off with your own objection handling. You're not just parroting somebody's response, right? You're making it your own and something that sounds true to yourself, right?
Yeah. And I think, there's a lot of news going on with lawsuits, commissions, and things like that. And I think it's really important to, of course, understand what's going on, but at the same time, still focus on everyday, what you're supposed to do every day, which is to help people buy and sell homes. Because the commission thing, from what I've read, has been an issue for years and years and years. The rates being 9-10% have been an issue for years and years and years, but people are always buying and selling. So instead of focusing on all the negatives that's going on in the world, kind of focus on what you can handle and what you can control, which is yourself, and focus on, helping someone buy or sell a house every single day.
Hallelujah. There you go. Yeah. You can't worry about what other people are doing. You just got to worry about yourself.
Yeah.
Stay in your lane, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's very important.
And so what do you think that it is that about yourself that sets you apart from the average agent?
I know the last two panelists have said being consistent, but that's honestly it. There's nothing different I do, and I hate to say that out loud. I wish I was telling you on the phone. I wish I could tell you something I did secretly that I could share with everyone besides just showing up. And I think you'll see a lot of people who cold call, and you're like, I can't cold call. But then there's a lot of people who do open houses. But you have to be an expert at whatever you're going to do to generate those leads. When I first got into business, you don't have a ton of money or anything like that. I door knocked. I just introduced myself. I said, I had a flyer you print out for you, 2 cents a sheet. And I would go around and introduce myself to all my neighbors and started farming that way. I didn't even have a lot of money to pay for postage. So I just walked. And then when I did open houses, I didn't just do an open house. I walked around the entire neighborhood the day before. So I would have it on a Saturday. And the day before I would have I just walk around, pass out a flyer and exclusively invite all the neighbors to the open house 30 minutes prior to when it started. As an exclusive showing. And I just said, hey, I want to get your opinion on the house. I know you live in the neighborhood. Would love to hear from you. And I would just, of course, build rapport with them at the time. So there's a lot of ways to get business. I think what's important is what works for you and what you feel comfortable with. Become an expert at that, and then keep moving forward in that direction. If you just absolutely hate cold calling, probably shouldn't do it. But you'll find something you're really good at. Like people are really good at making Facebook Live videos. And that's an easy way to generate business. Then become an expert at that,
Oh, that is the best advice. I couldn't have said that any better. And you're exactly right. Like your work works. You just get to something that you want to do and just work it. Like that's it. I mean, I even look at, I get sucked into the Facebook and Instagram, and I didn't realize your wife like sells this face skincare and stuff. And she does a live videos like every day, and I can't not wash her face. Like it's pretty interesting. She's captured my attention. It's very cool.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yep.
So awesome. So I think you're really killing it. You're very disciplined, and I really am grateful for you sharing all of the ways that you work and what's working for you in this market. And I appreciate having you. And hopefully we can have a couple of you guys again on a different panel. And so thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you very much for having me. I'm glad to be here.
All right. So we'll move on to Phillip Brady. Phillip, are you on the call?
I am. Hello. Thank you for having me.
Hello, Phillip. Thank you so much for being on here. I have this awesome introduction for you. You are the broker owner and team lead of the Pawleys Island, South Carolina, and Georgetown locations in South Carolina. And I love those places, by the way. Your price point is really high, and it's so beautiful there, and lots of yummy places to eat. So you're cultivating collaborative culture in the Grand Strand offices and beyond, and you're known as a mentor to your agents. So tell us a little bit about yourself and what your background is.
So I'm 18, 19 years in the business. I got into the RE/MAX franchise in 2015, and just recently, probably about 3 or 4 months ago, merged with an executive, which was a fantastic move. It needed to happen. I couldn't be happier about being part of this family. And again, thanks for including me in the panel. I've made notes here from everybody, so I hope everybody else is pulling a little tidbit away. I don't know if I can contribute much, but I did happen to notice that Ryan mentioned a board of buyers he has behind him. I've got 2 great houses in Pawleys Island. Not sure if it's a match for any of those buyers, but keep those in mind for us.
Oh, awesome. Always working it, trying to find buyers and sellers. That's great. I love it. So how many hours a week are you currently working?
I don't know that I honestly keep up with it. I think if I did, it would probably shock me. I'm always working. I will try to carve out a little bit of time for myself, but it's easily in the 50, 60 hours a week, just being available as a broker in charge. And then managing a team, which is new to me. I'm learning a lot. So I hope to pull away a little bit from you guys that are already managing teams to see where I can take my career now. So easily 50 or 60 hours a week.
And how many transactions are you doing a year with that amount of time?
Probably 40-ish.
That's awesome. And how are those mostly listings or buyers or both?
Probably tilts a little bit more towards listings, but it's probably a 60-40 listings.
Okay. And where does the majority of your business actually come from?
Sphere, almost entirely sphere of influence. I am constantly marketing. If I've got something going on, a koozie in my hand, pins, like you mentioned earlier, I stay in contact with all the folks that I've worked with in the past. So it probably drives family and friends crazy, but I'm always talking real estate. And it's easy when you love it. It's really easy.
Oh, absolutely. I a lot of times tell people it's much easier to wear your Remax pins. Like I'm wearing one today on my sweater. I wear Remax hats. I always have like my little Remax chapsticks with my branding and logo on them to give out to people, the tennis clinics and stuff. So yeah, it's always good to be like, have something to talk, people will ask you like, how's the market? When you're at the coffee shop or whatever, they seem to know what you do. Are you out and about in your areas a lot? Do you visit local places a lot and are belly to belly?
Constantly. So in our area between Pawleys Island and historic Georgetown, there's always a festival. There's always something going on. And I try to make sure that all of us as a group, as a brokerage and as agents, we're showing up, we're getting in front of people, we're making a presence so that we're not only talking about houses for sale, but hey, I know a roofer, I know a plumber. Think of me when you think of real estate.
Do you have goals of like how many people you try to get up with a week or meet in person or calls that you make to keep up with your sphere at all?
I don't. I work off of sticky notes. I mean, I'm not very consistent in that manner, but I try to pull and throw away a few sticky notes a week. I'm not very ritualistic, although on Fridays, I do like to send out at least one or two handwritten thank you notes to people. And it can be, either family, friends, past clients, but I try to make it a point to do a handwritten note every Friday. That's about the only real habit I have, but.
Well, it sounds like you do have a consistency in the fact that you like to cross off your check boxes or check the boxes or cross off your list. You like to throw away the sticky notes. So you know that you're being productive because you're doing the ideas that you write out on paper. And then you're naturally driven to go out and make sure that you're in front of people constantly.
Thank you.
Yeah. So it sounds like you are, in a way, you don't realize it because it feels natural for you. It doesn't feel like work, maybe. For some people, that doesn't feel like work to get out there and to get in front of people and constantly sell yourself, right? Or sell your brokerage or to be involved. Not everyone's extroverted. Some people are introverted. And a lot of those folks have a harder time of saying to themselves, oh gosh, I don't know if I want to do a festival. But for you, that's something that you enjoy doing. And it's also something that's really prevalent in your area. So it works out great because that's like a pillar of your business to be out and about in the community. So that's something that's, a lot of people on this call would love to hear. Maybe that's something they would like to do. And it actually works. That's actually working. Yes. So in like looking back on it, what is the one thing you would have done sooner in your business?
That one's easy for me because I try to share it with the other agents in the brokerage. I wish I hadn't waited so long to ask for and get help. I was doing 20 or 30 transactions. Something was being ignored. Something was being forgotten. I couldn't get to the next step. I was stuck at $3.5–4 million. And I finally took the chance and hired a part-time admin. And that's when my business really started to multiply. I didn't go from 3.5 to 4 and then to 5 and 6. It almost doubled. I went from 3.5 to 4 to about 7 or 8 million. And it was because I took on an admin. I know it's a big step and it's scary, but you have to be able to recognize when you need help and you gotta do something about it. You have to recognize that or you're just going to be stuck. And I'm at that point now. So I'm like $10–12 million average. I know that, trying to be a good broker, trying to be a good salesman, to be a good leader. I'm at that point again. So that's why I started the team. I'm hoping the team will take me to the next level. So you got to recognize when you need help and you got to ask for it. And, whether it's a transaction coordinator that executive offers, I think that's fantastic. Trying to encourage people to use that. But hiring an admin is not that expensive and it will pay for you.
Oh, I cannot say enough. You hit the nail on the head about our transaction department. My whole entire team has to use them. Kim Black and her associates, and they are just amazing. They're licensed in North and South Carolina, so they can tackle any of our deals, and they're just worth their weight in gold. Love those people, and we use them exclusively. So I can't say enough about how much. I want to say Jared James said, a transaction coordinator can save you 18 hours of work from contract to close. 18 hours of phone time, typing, uploading, sky slope. All the back and forth between the attorney, the insurance, the utilities, that's a lot. That's a lot of hours of your time back that you can go out and get new business. So,
and what does that cost us? $300?
Yeah, if we're $300, it's like $3 something, right? Per transaction. And what is that time back to you if you were to get another deal with those 18 hours? Exactly. That's another $10,000–15,000 in your pocket. So, it's really interesting that you were able to finally release that to someone else and realize that, hey, this is not the best use of my time. So that's great. I mean, I love hearing stories like that. To me, that is just it's recognizing, hey, if I want to scale, these are the things that I have to be doing or not doing, right? So we have to set, like, just like Jennifer said, you are spending your time on money-making activities for you. Okay, so what do you think sets you apart from the average agent?
Well, you mentioned earlier that the average agent in your area is closing 3 transactions, 3 deals.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't want to be anywhere near an average agent. I mean, it can't be hard to be average, but I think most importantly, I'm available. And my family is great because they realize, hey, dad's going to take a phone call, but at least he's here. He's at my dance today. He's here. He's doing it. He's present, which you brought up, Brian. But I'm available. And, we're competing here with 5,000 other agents. If I don't answer the phone, someone else is going to. So I think if anything sets me apart, I'm available.
Oh, that's amazing. I hear a lot of people complain, consumers, and complain that they can't ever get in touch with their agent.
On agents.
Yeah. Yeah. National Association of Realtors, #1 complaint from consumers is I couldn't get a hold of my agent.
Hey, it's frustrating as an agent when you're trying to show someone else's listing and you can't get that listing agent to call you back.
Oh, absolutely. We see this a lot, and especially in this slow time. I don't know what these other people are doing. Maybe these other agents are working another job, but not the Remax agents. We're all full time. So, awesome. So, in your opinion, what is the key to success in real estate?
It's just hard work. I don't think there's any secret sauce. The people that are putting in the time are doing well. And the people that are sitting there waiting for it, they're doing 3 transactions a year.
So would you say that you're in the office every day, you're prospecting daily, like just naturally, you might not be doing it at the same time every day, but you're constantly in your database, you're constantly trying to get in touch with people that like and trust and want, would do a transaction with you?
I may not be in the office every day. I try to make a point to be visible, but I did a little stint in some business coaching, and he called it income producing activity. And there's income producing activity all day at some point, whether it's in the car and I'm calling somebody, or if I'm helping another agent be productive, I am constantly doing IPA, income producing activity.
So you're not wasting any time. You're not sitting around on Facebook so you're just constantly filling your day with things that will eventually come back to you.
I try.
Money will come back. Okay. So and like I think everyone on the call should recognize that some people don't actually, they're so used to it. Like, Phillip and myself have been in the business for so long. I don't even actually see sometimes that it's actually that hard of work. Like, I'm in the car all, 3.5 hours sometimes back and forth to Charlotte from Myrtle Beach. And I'm making calls the whole entire time. I'm calling my sphere, my database. I'm letting people know I'm coming to town. I'm letting people know I want to meet up. I'm doing all these things, and I don't even realize it's work. I'm reaching out constantly, like to the point that my phone is going dead all the time. So I think it's, recognize this. If you guys are having a hard time in this market, think about Phillip and what he's doing. He's spending a majority of his day from the time he gets up to the time he goes home, reaching out to clients and meeting up with clients. So that's a really good thing to know. And it's great advice from you. And I appreciate you on this call. Thank you so much for being on the panel.
Thank you.
And, you said it, work works. Work, put in the work. Awesome. Well, I am so happy to be able to moderate this panel. I have so much fun doing these, Hadi. Thank you for letting me do it. I really do. I always learn something myself. And to be honest with you, sometimes when I do these, I even feel like I hear some of these panelists and I even feel kind of lazy myself. Like, oh gosh, I need to get back to doing some of the things that they're doing. So, of course I want to be Pinnacle too. And, I don't care that it's a slow year. I'm going to figure out how to do it as soon as humanly possible. And if I have to buy like 500 more chapsticks and give them out, I will. One of the things that I taught on, you guys would love to know this. One of the things that I taught on my Leads, Crush It and Convert Leads class, which is recorded, by the way, if you guys want a copy of it, I'll post a link later, is that Quintavious Burdett, he has been in a business for 4 years. He was a football player for Ole Miss, got injured, got his real estate license, got a mentor, And his first year, he did $500,000 in sales. I want to say it was like 180 transactions. His second year, he did diamond. And his third and fourth year, he's done well over $2 million in gross commissions as a solo agent with a couple of assistants. And you could say to yourself, like, how does a brand new agent who knew nothing about real estate just start and crushing it? And he reaches out, you guys, listen, 1,000 phone calls a week, 1,000, 1,000 consistently every day. And then he started adding in meeting 50 people in front of Food Line and giving his business cards out. Then he started adding in paying for $5,000 of gas at a gas station to anyone for free until he runs out of his credit card. So he started doing a lot of other promotions to get in front of people because he needed to get more crafty to get in front of more people to meet people in person. So he got tired of the phones, right? But he was still making the calls. And I think right now he's actually paying a company to make calls for him. He's still doing calls and he has a company making more calls because I think he's taken all the money he's ever made at Remax, all the $2, $4, $5.5 million, and he's reinvested it back into real estate. And he has, I want to say, 30 rentals. So I want you guys to know there are people I know.
I think
like
he's up to 52, Sandy.
52? Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. See, I'm like behind the times. He's an amazing guy. Like just being in the same room, you guys, with him, he is amazing. He'll tell you anything. He'll tell you exactly what he says to these people on the phone and it'll blow your mind. It's not that hard. So it'll incentivize you to realize you just have to put yourself out there and ask for the business. So if he can do it, any of you guys can do it. And if I'm some way motivating you guys to get up off your butts and get on the phones tomorrow, that's basically what all of these people are saying. The whole entire panel is saying the same thing, that the reason that they're making all this money is that they're not afraid to pick up the phone. So if you guys need help with call reluctance, reach out to myself at any time. I'd be willing to share tips and tricks to get you over that. I have some because I have team members and we address this all the time. And if there's any questions that you have that you didn't feel like were answered in this panel, please feel free to reach out to me. I am on sandyisyouragent@gmail.com, or you can find me on the directory and RE agent portal with Remax Executive. So yeah, so I don't have any more for today. But I wanted to see, does anyone in general have any questions?
Minnie asked where you buy your chapsticks.
So this is funny. Look at this. Custom lip balm store something.com. And this was kind of funny. You know, they're just a little branded. I want to say it's like $100 something for 100 of these, or not even, maybe $80 plus shipping. And they're full color. They got my picture. And, you know, one time a while back, it said something like, if you want, don't ever forget my real estate name from your lips or something. You know, like they have sayings they can give you to make them like silly and funny. And you can actually pick out the flavor or the smell. So there's different ones. You can have cherry, or you can have, there's ones with SPF 15. I don't like those. I like the ones that are coconut and pina colada. But, you know, it's whatever you want to do.
Sandy, I did them years ago, back when expireds were a thing. And mine said something about, if the real estate market is making you chapped, give me a call.
Oh, that's a good one. Well, and also I have these cords. So I have 1,000 of these cords. These are the new USB-C cords. And look, if you don't want to talk to people, but you feel like you want to pop by and you want to give them a gift, I mean, I ordered these from China, like $1 a piece, and they have my QR code on them, and it says Sandy McAlpine, North Carolina, South Carolina. So it goes directly to my business card, and this thing lights up and it charges your iPhone and everything else. So I have plenty of these to give out, and people talk about it and they're like, this is so cool. I love this. I've also given out little race cars, you know, because we're in NASCAR country, little things, you know. I don't even see this as a lot of expense because they're fun to make and fun to do and fun to give out, and people really like it. I mean, even a koozie, everyone likes a koozie. So don't, you know, I do sunglasses. I mean, just anything you can think of that might make you a little happy. That's not a lot of money, that will basically help you to get in front of people and to start a conversation. Then go for it.
And I saw a question for Phillip earlier. Phillip, Beth wants to know what you write on the note cards that you send every day. See here. Oh, you're muted. I was like, where's Phillip?
Gosh, now I have to repeat myself. So I try to make it something personal. If I notice someone said they had an accomplishment on Facebook that they mentioned or something, I'll just say congratulations on this or that. You know, it's not a call for business. It's actually personal. So
And
Both of them today were just thanks for being there and helping me in the past. So the ones today were pretty simple.
do you have like branded note cards with your team logo on it?
I do. Well, it just says Remax.
Ah, cool.
And they're blank inside.
And Sandy, I saw one other question in there for you. Do you have any advice for folks in do any of our panelists have advice for folks in areas with a smaller price point?
Well, very interestingly enough, Tracy Palmero, I think hers is in the 200s, and Quintavious Burdett, the guy I was just talking about, his average price point was $220. So and that didn't really matter. Tracy, you're in St. Louis, aren't you? She on here?
No, I think that she
no. So her average price point is like $2 something. It's very hard for her to make elite every year. I think she has to do over 200 transactions, and she does have an assistant to help her with that. It's very hard at a lower price point. You just have to do more transactions. You have to do volume, and to do volume, you need help. So you probably at some point over like 80 to 100, you need to start getting assistance. Like you need to have the transaction coordinator for $350 or whatever it is. And you need to start hiring a part-time admin that's doing, all of your listing paper, putting your listing paperwork together, putting your marketing materials together, making sure you have buyer packets ready to go for when you walk out the door, all the little things like helping you chase down documents and signatures and everything else. So I think, my admin helps me post to social media, keeps up with my emails. She pays all my bills. I have a sheet somewhere I can share with you guys. If any of you are interested, email me. There's a sheet of what all the stuff an admin can do for you. Even order your groceries, Instacart and all this kind of stuff that really just save you time. I mean, honestly, unless you just love grocery shopping like I do, like, why are you doing it? It's a waste of time. You could be talking to more people, unless you love grocery shopping like I do and talk to everyone in the grocery store. And then you end up selling clients' houses from Harris Teeter like I do. So it just depends on, I will literally never meet a stranger. So that's how, I see people. And then the next thing, like Jennifer, the Walmart guy, stock guy, she sold him a house. It's like the same thing. It doesn't seem like it's work to me, and I need to be out in the public. So anything that I need to be where I'm out shopping and talking to people is good for me. But I don't clean my own house. There's a lot of things that I leverage because that's not a good source of my time. So you got to think about these things when you guys are wanting to get up to the next level. You're stuck at a level and you're always making like 150 or 200 and you're never getting platinum. You need to realize that there's some hours of stuff that you're doing that isn't making you money that you need to release. Yeah, whatever that is, you need to figure it out.
One thing that I'm going to add to what I am going to do, I've never done it actually, but it's been on my list to do for literally 10 years. There's a local coffee shop, and every time I go there, there's like 20 people that I know there. And so I did talk to the owner about setting up there every Thursday from 9 to 12 and just kind of buying everybody's coffee that's in there, but doing work from there and then meeting more people, talking to more people, and just being out in the public.
Didn't Elizabeth Baker just say that? Because she has
I'm not
no
sure.
CRM.
Actually, Hugh said it because he does it at a pizza parlor.
Yeah.
But there was an agent that got really big in Wilmington. She's now passed away, but she got really big in Wilmington from doing it outside of her neighborhood. There was like a Starbucks that she did every Wednesday, and she would do a social media post and be like, I'm here every Wednesday from this time to this time. Coffee's on me. Inexpensive way just to get out there and meet people.
Yeah, Q's done it with pies and pizza, and then the same with Elizabeth Baker. She's a big agent in Charleston, and she doesn't have a CRM, you guys. She doesn't buy leads. She only does Sphere and her truck marketing, and she goes and sits in a coffee shop every single day because she doesn't have an office. And she has Remax everything. This lady is like Remax blinged out. Everything on her body, from her earrings to her hat to her shirts, her dresses, her truck outside, and her whole entire laptop is covered with Remax stickers. So people do approach her. And she says it works. Go sit in a coffee shop. Don't sit at home.
And Sandy, to add to that, if you don't mind, you can go on caseapp.com and brand your phone and your laptop. Like I designed it on Canva and then print it from, order it off of there. It's not expensive at all. And then I have the QR code on my phone for my Blink card.
That
because
is
I
awesome.
do not use printed business cards at all. I'll only use Blink. So I get their information in addition to them getting mine.
Yes, it swaps. I love it. It swaps their information. They're automatically put in my phone.
Yes.
Robin, is that like a template on Canva?
No, I just knew the size and I designed it the way I wanted.
What
They
was
give
that
you the
website?
dimensions to order it. And then I just downloaded the image and uploaded a case app. And I have it on the back of my laptop, which unfortunately you can't see because I'm on my laptop. And then I have it on my phone also.
So Blink is the free app that you can use as a digital business card. It's BLINQ.
Yes.
And then she uses Canva, which is also free, CANVA. You can buy the premium version, which I have, because that's how we do our 200 social media posts a month. It's not expensive. It's an app. It charges your phone like, $4.99 or something. So yeah.
The case app, I think I paid less than $30 or about that. And I have the upgraded phone case because I've dropped mine before. And when I'm out with friends, I always put it upside down out of respect for them. So I'm not watching my phone. But like the other day, we were having brunch at a local restaurant. We're sitting at the bar and the guy beside me goes, yeah, I'm thinking about moving to Annapolis. And I went, I gotcha. So next year he wants to move over here from Northern Virginia. I'm like, awesome. Yeah, but it does work. But the one thing I'm going to add that nobody brought up, take a day off each week or you will burn out so fast. It's not funny. Everybody's like,
Yep.
Because I did that in 2020. I did not take a day off and I was working 60, 70 hours a week. And I almost got out of real estate.
It can happen. And for me, I go, burn myself out and then go on a cruise, right, Hadi? Every single year. It's usually during our Christmas party.
During Christmas time, yep.
But having like 7-8 days in a Caribbean destination with a drink in my hand is how I can relax. And I can't talk to anyone on the phone. And I can't sell someone, well, maybe I can now, but I couldn't sell someone in the Bahamas a house. So I wasn't able to have to turn it on, right? So I think everybody does need to check out. That's a great thing to know.
It's
Hadi, do
very
you have anything?
important to have a balance. I mean, just work doesn't work. In other words, you got to know when you get burned out. I mean, everybody reaches a point that they're a detriment to themselves, their family, and their clients. So when you reach that point, take a couple of days off. I know I have. I would kill somebody probably if I didn't take off a couple of days. So I think that is a personal thing. You got to know. Sometimes I don't make plans ahead of time. At least I haven't since the COVID. But I think it's very important for us to have some life balance. So besides working 80 hours a day, taking a day off is important, obviously. Some people take Sunday off, some people take Monday off, whatever it is. So I agree that you got to have some time for yourself.
And I think, as we've done these panels, I think a lot of you guys need to realize almost everyone I've ever interviewed and has been on panels with me, they all have something in common. And that is they work out, they get some kind of workout and focus on their health and eat pretty healthy and get that out of the way before their day starts because they stay generally pretty busy. And that's just how they're able to sustain the hours and the energy to put in to this, to make this business work. Awesome. Well, does anybody, I think, Haley, we're almost up for time. Is there anything else?
I didn't see anything else in the chat. I would like to thank Sandy and all of our panelists, Jennifer, Jackie, Phillip, and Ryan, and Hadi Atri for being on our annual goal setting panel. And I cannot wait for the next one. Thank you all. We really do appreciate your insights.
Awesome.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Good seeing everyone.
I hope you guys learned a lot. Thank you. And we're going to have another one December 6th.
Have a great weekend. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.